Let's go Gmail. Okay, Gmail, these are some of the things I'm going to be scanning through real quick in Gmail. Now today isn't necessarily I'm going to teach you in depth. It's more of just to give you teasers or tastes for you to go in and explore these different features. Because some of you guys won't use some of these tools and others will use more than others. So that's why I'm not going in depth on a couple. But I'll tell you if it's really important. Okay, so let's go ahead and use Gmail. What I've done is, now let's say you have a school Gmail account and then you have a personal Gmail account and then maybe another Gmail account. How can you manage more than one Gmail account if you want separate accounts without logging out and logging on? Well, there's two different ways. One is to have multiple inboxes in one account, but also a even simpler way is to get different browsers. A browser is the way that you view the internet. So right now I'm in Firefox. It's a very popular browser, an efficient one, especially for add-ins. I really recommend that over Internet Explorer. But you could use like one browser for one Gmail and then another browser for another Gmail. So what I did was in Safari, I opened up another Gmail account. This is just a demonstration account that we have at school that I use for demonstrations. So let's start really quick on the basics on the left side of the bar. So you have your inbox, your starred, your sent mail, and your drafts. Now, one thing that you don't see is the word folders. A lot of times we think of folders as places we can put email in. Now, instead of folders, what's the word that Gmail uses? Labels. Yeah, labels. So labels is the same thing as folders. It's just more of a smarter way of thinking about it. So let's say you want to organize your email a little bit better. So you can go into labels and you can go to manage labels, or you can go down to here where it says for more, and then you can here and create new label. So let's go ahead and create a new label. Now I work with Scott Bird a lot with middle school. We play basketball too and stuff, and we always think of new strategies for technology. So maybe I want to like categorize all the email when he comes in, because we're working on like accreditation stuff and technology. So I'm gonna hit a new label called Scott. And this could be like if you want all those special emails from your principal or your athletic director or even from your students, you could have different folders based on that. So I'm gonna put Scott. And now I have a new label called Scott right here on the left side. Now it kind of mixes in with all the other labels, right? So let's make it a little bit more easier to see. So I'm going to change that to green. So now it's a green little spot so I can see it better. Now if I get an email from Scott, so let's just say this email right here is from Scott. Okay. Basically, about a month ago, Google just came out with the drag and drop. Before, you had to click here, and you had to go up to your labels, and you have to click Scott, and then it would go in. And honestly, I never use labels because that takes too much time. I would just use search for the email. But now, Google made it a lot easier. So all you need to do is, you see this cool looking hand thing? Okay, if you place your cursor right to the left of the box, you have the hand, just grab that, place it into Scott, and boom, it's in there. So you don't have to see that email anymore, and it's color coordinated, so it's easy to see. Now that one represents you didn't read it yet, so that's good to know. So I can go in there, and then there's Scott. Well, that's me, but that is from Scott. Now, what happens even if you're even more lazy and you don't want to do that drag and drop thing? Okay, perfect. You're just like me. So what you have to do is, does anyone know? We have to create a filter. Yeah, filter. So let's go ahead and create a filter. On the top toolbar, it says create filter. So just create a filter right there. And then you'll see all these options. Now, I'm going to put scott.bird@yssoul.org. Okay? Now, it's not going to show up any of those emails because I don't have any from them. I'm just going to put mark.heil. Let's just say I got that. You could also do like subject. What I do with my students, if my students send me questions that they have about their homework or assignments, I don't want them all mixed in with all my like school email from teachers. So what I'll tell them is, okay, if you're going to send me an email, in the subject, put in like a class ID. So if you teach like geometry section 7, put geometry 7 as like one word. And that way, I can just put in here geometry 7, and then if that's in the subject of any of your emails, you can, like, it'll automatically go to that folder or that label. So, but I'm going to demonstrate here. So I could put from mark.heil, or you could put like your class or a subject. I also do this if I want to send an email to myself. In the subject, I'll just put like an asterisk and put save. And so whenever I get an email with the subject asterisk save, it'll go into a folder called, or not folder, but label called save. So that way I don't have to keep track of, oh, where was that email I sent to myself a week ago? Because we can use our Gmails as a backup account for storing our data. So I'm just going to put from that, I go next. Okay, so notice that it found 3 emails. I'm also the varsity volleyball coach, so I sent an email to myself about the kayak tournament that we had. So notice that it found these 3. I can click apply to these as well. So if it's not too late to apply the filter on old email, you can just simply apply it. Now this is where you get to choose what you want to do with it. Okay. First of all, we can apply the label. So I'm going to apply the label Scott. Okay. You could say, hey, whenever I get an email, I want it to forward it to this person. Okay. Or I can mark it as read, or skip the inbox and stuff like that. Okay. Skip the inbox is sometimes important because let's say you always get this email from this company that somehow got your email, and you try to unsubscribe, it's not working, and it's not getting your spam. We can just click skip the inbox whenever you get an email from that person, and you won't see them ever again. So you can try that out. Okay? Or you can mark it as read. So I hit create filter, and there we go. So now I have my filters, and if I go to Scott, okay, there's my 3 emails from Scott already in there. So if I ever get another email, it'll automatically put that tag right in there. Okay? Any questions on tags, labels?
Does it take the existing, like if you create a filter, does it pull from your existing ones or only future emails that you get?
It does from the previous ones. If you click that little box that says like include all those emails, that little box, yeah, you can do it from the past ones. While I'm in my settings, let's go through our settings real quick. Okay, maximum page size. I like to pull this down to 25, to be honest with you. Like, I don't want to see like a whole list of email and get like over bombarded. I like to keep things simple, so I use 25. I don't know why the default is always off, but you need to put keyboard shortcuts on. One of the biggest things I hear from teachers is why they can't do technology is, oh, I don't have time to do that. But technology actually helps you to be more efficient with your time. And everybody does email, so if you're not using shortcuts, like keyboard shortcuts, and you're using too much mouse, then your wrists are going to get like carpal tunnels and stuff. So your left wrist is actually always jealous because you use the right wrist too much. And most of you guys aren't switch hitters, so use your keyboard shortcuts with your left hand. You can select a nice picture if you want that icon. Signature, you guys already know that. Snippets, I like to turn those off so it's not... Snippets are like little advertisements, like text advertisements. So Google's nice to let you have that choice, unlike other ones, which I'm kind of anti. So yeah, those are some features, but that's just the basic. Okay, let's go back into accounts. You can send email from another account, even if you have an account from one of those other selfish emails that have all those ads. One of the big reasons why I'm anti like other ones is like Hotmail. Hotmail will put an advertisement in the email at the bottom, and oftentimes I won't get someone's email from Hotmail because that advertisement thinks it's spam, so it goes to my spam. So if you ever notice that, yeah, and you don't have no control of what they're going to advertise at the bottom. Whereas Google, they'll never put advertisements in your email, so it's pretty safe. So you might want to check out that. But if you want to add an account here, you can just simply go through the process and add your Yahoo or Hotmail account or even a second Gmail account and go through the steps there. So I won't go into that.